and we hope things will be going to be better than even before. Welcome to today's program. Once again, my name is Paul Kagi. Don't go too far.
Very well, Kagi. And of course, we also want to bring to you our question so that you can interact with us in this particular program today. And that is a question that we've put out for you there. We are asking, how has your MP performed in the following areas? That is bursary, roads, electricity, schools and hospitals. How has your MP performed? How can you rate your member of parliament in relation to the following areas? That is bursary. These are very key issues. These are very key aspects. These are very, very key areas to be in a position to look at. That is bursary, roads, electricity, schools and even hospitals. Are you aware of how your member of parliament has actually performed in regards to this particular area? And you can begin to tell us, you can begin to share with us your opinions. You can begin to share with us your responses and your perspectives on these. You can catch us live on our Facebook page, that is MBCI TV, YouTube, that is MBCI TV official, and of course you can write to us using your shortcut platform, that is 23814. We'll be glad to also see how is it that you are responding to this particular discussion. We have a guest in the studio, that is Bwana Ben Macharia. He is a governance expert. Karibu sana Bwana Macharia, good to see you.
Thank you, Mangicho, for having me today.
Yes.
I appreciate for always having time
good
to invite me to your studios and talk of matters of national importance.
Yeah, always a pleasure, and it's been a while. Where have you been?
I've been, thank you. I've been up and down.
Thank you.
You know, we are also parents. We have been doing one or two things, but also we have been trying to do certain governance issues, like trying also to follow on some of the public participation that is going on in the counties in terms of finance bills and public participation in general, so that we can at least make sure that our people are getting the development they deserve.
That is awesome. Karibu sana. We are glad that you found time to be with us in this or today's edition. We are looking forward to getting some of the insights that will be of major help to our viewer even as we continue with this particular area. And I know we'll be getting into our main area of discussion, but before that, maybe Kagi, it's important that we also look, even with the participation of our guests, the other items that have also been making headline across this one.
Yeah, correct. And we have maybe one or two issues which are very, very, very close to us at this time. One is that Mwangaza is set to know her fate today as senators vote.
Yes.
Yesterday, she had a day again with the Senate, whereby both sides from the MCAs and the legal team from the governor yesterday had a very, very robust opportunity to be able to maybe support your side. MCAs had a very robust time to be able to support the allegations they made against the governor. And also governor on her side, through her legal team, had a time to be able to disprove what was allegations maybe brought ahead by the MCAs. And therefore, yesterday was all about understanding the allegations, which the other side will say were around 7 or something. And governor said this is just a political witch hunt. And it's 10 months since she was at the Senate for a similar scenario. But today, according to the Senate calendar, the senators are about to vote either to uphold her impeachment by the MCAs or maybe to throw out that impeachment proposal. And therefore, everybody is looking forward to see whether he is going to be rescued by the senators. You know, last time the senators were very, very key to be able to rescue him from the MCAs. So today, we want to see whether the Senate is going also to rescue him from the MCs who are baying for, I would say, her blood. But one thing maybe we'll be looking forward to is to see, in the first place, there were some senators, especially from the opposition, who wanted this process to go through the committee, but they refused, led by Ledama and his team. But the Kenya Kwanza insisted she must go through the plenary, the whole sitting in the Senate. And that is what is happening today. by the end of close of business today.
We'll have known her fate.
Yes.
And let's just rope in Bwana Mashari on this, because this Meru thing has actually become the talk of town, the talk of the entire country, coming for the second time in a span of 1 year. And political witch hunt or a governor gone rogue?
Thank you very much. I think we have an issue with almost all the governors across our counties. Because what I think the governors have failed to understand the role that is played by all the actors in the devolution sector. For example, as a governor, you cannot operate without the input of the members of the county assembly.
Yes.
You cannot plan your development agenda without the MCAs giving their input, getting away forward, in as much as they will offer oversight to you, but you must agree on something, because the buck falls with you as the MCA for Langas, myself as MCA for Kivumbini, MCA for Bahati, which means that at the end of the day, when we go back to Wanjiko, they will ask me, when we came for public participation, what did we pass as our community? Yes. Then what is being implemented by the governor? So when MCAs feel that at the right time, the governors, even they are talking, hapa kwangu, in my county, that degenerates, negates the gains of devolution, that we are supposed to have a senator that will go there and do actually lobby for funds to come to the counties. Once the funds are there, the governor implements the plans for the people, and then it is the MCA to oversight. But what has happened with Meru, you have come to realize that the governor, since her election, since last year, you know, she won on what we call an independent ticket. And to some extent, it was the feeling that, you know, she was working for the people, unlike for the party. Because you can understand, Meru by that time was UDA infested, and so on and so forth. So for her, she has failed, actually as a person, to overcome that feeling that, anyway, the elections were over. It was my time to, because even right now, when you look at the way you operate and you talk even negatively about MCAs and you are a governor, you are finished. You can even see that the husband was even composing music in public, as you say, wajinyonge, waende wajinyonge. You know, that is vilification of all the MCAs, which means that where she set herself with the MCAs, there was no working condition. She went to the assembly, she was denied, she was refused, she was chased the other time, but she never went down. Because when you look at the stakeholders, very important. When you look at the religious, you cannot ignore them. You cannot ignore Njurincheke in Meru. They are very serious people. You cannot engage the civil society. You cannot ignore the MCAs and you think you can survive. So I think it has come to that point that I think
it has nothing to do with her performance as a governor, her scorecard in terms of development project. It has nothing to do with that.
In fact, what I wanted, what I thought, it is this question of locking out MCs. You cannot lock them out. Even here in Nakuru, you cannot, because MCAs are the first call for any Wanjiko at the grassroots. Mheshimiwa ulituambia kuhusu these lights, where are they? They will reach the MCAs, not the governor. So to a large extent, it has been, let me implement my manifesto and then you as MCA will come and look. It can't go that way.
So the office of the executive in relation to the devolution structure requires that the governor implements her manifesto, implements her programs directly with the inclusion of the members of county assembly.
In fact, for her, mandate is clear. You do the projects, it is the MCA to oversee. But the MCA will not just watch and wait as you implement your projects. The MCAs will need to be there so that to a large extent, let us be realistic. Because if anything goes wrong, they are the ones who know the contractor never put 2 caravans and they were there in the big queues. Sometimes they go there to ask, but governors, what they have done, they always tell them, you people, wacheni nifanye kazi. But in the end of wacheni nifanye kazi, it becomes there is no cohesion. Because you see, even as a governor, where do you get your policy? Once you have approved a policy at the cabinet, you take it to the county assembly. Who will approve your budget? It is the county assembly. Who will approve your nominees? It is the county assembly. Who will approve your supplementary budget is the county assembly. But what we have seen here is the question of I can circumvent all of these people and then I work myself out of these people and I don't care what they say. And that's why they were saying kaende kaende. That now sasa kama ni mbaya ni mbaya. And that is a very bad spirit even for any leader. That's why you see any county that has got leadership wrangles, development, forget about it.
Yeah, also on the same, I think the same fate is heading to Kiambu.
Yes.
Until yesterday or day before yesterday, the deputy president himself had to intervene because the leaders there, the MCAs, the members of parliament, are complaining that the governor is not allowing them to work together as a team. And therefore, there's a problem, I think, with some governors who want to become lone rangers in terms of operating in our counties, which I think is not tolerable at all. So there need to be a cohesion between the MCAs, the members of parliament in that area, because they are all within the same county. When the MP comes with his agenda from this side, or maybe they consolidate their facts together, or their money together. But if governors are going to work as lone rangers, is of a disadvantage to the counties. But I think they are fearing maybe to be outshined by some leaders within the county. And finally, I think we have a problem also between the governors and deputy governors in many areas. And sometimes I ask myself, where do we get deputy governors? Where do they come from? Because when we are doing elections, deputy governors are good. There are no wrangles. There's no push and pull. But once the elections are done, the war between the governor and the deputy governor starts immediately. Even in Meru, it's the same. Siaya, I think Siaya was managed, but you never know. But it's still there. Macharia,
you can comment on that. I know we are pressed for time. You can comment on that, the issue, the wrangling between the governor and the deputy governor coming after elections, and how can this one be solved? Because again, there has been that issue where people think there is a gap in the constitution, Kagi, that when maybe a governor is actually impeached, the deputy governor takes the leadership automatically. Yet some people feel on the ground, the public, the voters did not vote for the deputy governor. There should be another election. Do we have a constitutional crisis on that particular area? But then, do you also have an opportunity? Do you also have a situation whereby these members of county assembly, the MCs, can hold governors at ransom because of their own selfish gains, knowing that we've been going through corruption issues in our country. Sometimes there is something fishy they want the governor to do for them, and in case the governor refuses, they now want to use this impeachment matter to attain or to achieve their own issues. And again, on that particular line, who is supposed to oversight MCs?
Okay, number one, let me begin with the first what Kagi talked about, the leaders coming together. After the promulgation of the constitution and the beginning of revolution, we espoused that we are going to have what we call a county development forum. This was supposed to have the governor of the county, the senator, the MPs, women rep, and all the MCs. They were supposed to come together to a round table. As a governor, these are the program I have. Myself as a senator, I will work like this with you. MCAs, you will have to do your work like this. MPs, I have my own Bahati. I have maybe Nakuru East. These are the programs I know. So that we also stop overlapping on one another. We also stop what you call duplication. But this issue was defeated by the fact that even MPs are looking for the position of governors. So you come and find, you see that thing, it defeated that. That's why even up to now, we still don't have that forum that can be called a constitutive forum. And that's why you see the kind of things you are seeing in Meru in terms of wrangles. Number two, when you talk about deputy governors and governors, the problem people should understand is that when you vote for the president, you vote for the deputy president. There is no governor that can go to the ballot he or for herself. You must have your running mate, and that running mate must have the qualification to run a county as a governor. That is now where the problem comes in. That immediately now the governor comes into seat. start to isolate governors. That's why you see even...
But unfortunately, even towards the election, they announce, they name their deputy governors quite late.
Yes.
So and members of the public...
And that is why the problem that Kenyans should understand, when you are coming to run for governor as Kagi, who is your deputy governor? What are the capabilities of your deputy governor? Are you willing to work together? Even you sign a contract working together. But immediately governors start seeing the deputy as the threat. Again, if the MCs can also misuse the deputy governor. Wanamwambia you, tunaweza toa huyu wewe ufanye nini? Governor. Those are the wrangles that are going on with the... But majorly, and this country, the way you are seeing, governors have refused to work with the deputy governors. We have had the deputy governors forum in Mombasa some time back. They were just complaining, we are Mekosa Gari, they don't have offices, they are denied budget. But now you see at the national level, things have been set. You can see the deputy president and the president, the way they are now working. He has all the budgets for him to work. He has been given mandate by the president. He has even some communication have been done to the same. So that is what we lack at the county. So that also, don't just trust. MCAs are not angels. They can also come and blackmail the governor in terms of, kama governor utafanya vile tunataka, we shall impeach you. And the only problem we have, even as Wanjiku, we don't have a mechanism to deal with the MCAs. You see, like there is a recall clause, where as Wanjikos, we are supposed to remove MCAs. But they have never legislated, even at the parliament level. Have you had any recalling of any MCA, any MPs? They have made it very difficult, next to impossible, so that for them they enjoy. Yes. They can come and impeach a governor. They can complain about governor. But when you, Wanjiku, you complain about the MCAs, yes, you cannot.
There is no avenue.
Yes.
That's quite interesting, Kagi.
Yeah. I think if you have time, we can maybe combine two issues here to be one.
Yes.
Number one, yesterday the president himself had a sitting with members of Parliament from the Kenya Kwanza, the state of Nairobi, to discuss about the issue of cost of the living, whereby the members of Parliament had to give their own reservations on what they are finding from ground. Personally, I believe maybe the president wanted to hear from the members of Parliament what are people saying from the ground. And as the president was doing this, I think he was trying to, it's a pre-planning of what is coming tomorrow, the national address to the nation, which is going to happen in Parliament tomorrow. I think it's a bicameral, something like that. Yes. And therefore, members of Parliament told the president in open that the ground is not happy because of the rising of cost of living, and they singled out the issue of fuel, which I think everybody now can be able to attest to this. Even as we are approaching for a higher mark on the fuel prices, they told the president on point blank, something must be done. Okay. And those MPs who leaked the information to the media about the talk, some of them proposed the president to bring back the subsidies, which president I think is still not very comfortable with. Is saying it's not sustainable, and also looking for ways even to be able to lower the food within our shelves. And as the president comes tomorrow to talk to us, we want to hear what plans he has regarding to lowering the cost of living. And today's, I saw in the dailies, they have stipulated a lot of measures the president is about to make to be able to help us in the government to reduce the high cost of living. So tomorrow is a very important day, whether we are going to come back to subsidies and so on and so on.
A very important area, Kagi, that you've mentioned, and Bwana Washari can also actually give us his perspective on that, because this is coming at a time when, of course, the country has been facing what we know very well, harsh economic time, and we know that it has majorly also been blamed on what is actually happening even beyond our country, that is the global phenomenon. But as you look at that particular area, should it find the president as a surprise that these members of parliament, Bwana Macharia, will go and tell him that the ground is not happy? Or is it something that you think the president has known, but I think he has his own different way of how he wants to solve this particular issue?
I think the way we have been seeing it, the president has all the intelligence. He's seeing Kenyans crying all on television everywhere he goes. You see, like in Mombasa, he was second. Because you see, when he wanted to tell people no promises, people were shouting, uongo, you know. For that one to reach those levels for any republic, as a president, you must be very cautious. Because it means your people are now reaching to the other levels now. Yes, you have the plan. Of course, we are people from Kenya Kwanza. But at the end of the day, the plans cannot come at the cost of everything and everybody. That sometimes people will say, where to pay chakula Kwanza? Leave alone those electric trains and the electric bodabodas which are supposed to come. In fact, we are not there as. We want to see that road between my home and the market, I can reach it. The viazi I have, I can take it to the market. The milk I have can find market. The most basic things. And above all, the question of food prices. Fuel in itself is a major contributor of all the factors that you talk about in the cost of living. So if you touch fuel and you don't add unga, you are lying to yourself. It will be added automatically. So what we are saying is that the president cannot, even a good leader listens to what people are saying. And that's why you see MPs. When they come here to tell us rais atakuja atasema, sometimes people are telling them off. Si tunataka mtuambie kesho mafuta itatoka kutoka kama saizi 216 per liter we are buying to maybe 204 or even 180. Those are the stories we want to hear. Kenyans will not ask you how many roads you have constructed. Above all, you are a leader, you can balance here and there. But above all, we must repeat and tell our leaders. But let me say this. These leaders are liars. We have not seen them in camera saying, even in TVs, saying that you know this and this is bad. But they are saying they went and told the president. And you can hear those who are saying that they are talking on the condition of anonymity. Which means we are lying to ourselves. We are not able to stand and tell the king you are naked, and the king must listen so that we can be able to get on as a country. And above all, Wanjiku will still fight those people, and that's why you see by the next election, they will come and find it very rough. Because we are talking on the basics. Stop about talking big things about trains which are going to come from where. We want the basic fuel to go down, and that's why we are seeing even in other countries announcements are being made. Like in Tanzania, they are saying they will bring their fuel. What happens? And fuel passes in Kenya to go there and in some other areas.
Absolutely fantastic. I think so much for that. I think because, Kage, like you've said, tomorrow we'll have the president delivering the State of the Nation address, and most probably from what he's actually going to articulate and maybe the measures that maybe he will announce, most probably, I think that is something that we'll be able to look into, and maybe in our subsequent analysis we'll be able to find out how significant, how relevant, and how far-reaching effects whatever is going to say will have. But at this particular point, I think we can join our reporter, that is Vincent Kimutai. Remember, we have our topic for today, and we are looking at members of parliament scorecard. There is a report that was given out by Infotech company on how different members of parliament have actually performed in the last 1 year. Of course, the basic areas of the basic area that has actually been looked into or focus, that was basically bursary, school bursary, matters to do with hospitals, matters to do with the roads, electricity. Those are basically the areas, and actually that is what we are asking you. How has a member of parliament performed in those particular areas? You can continue giving us your feedback on 23814 shortcut platform. Catch us live on our Facebook page, MBCI TV, and YouTube, that is MBCI TV official. We can get to that particular report or that particular interaction from Vincent Kimutai with the members of the public. Then we'll come and also get deeper into this particular topic. Vincent Kimutai, take it away.
Naam, na kuwapata vizuri sana kutoka studioni Mangicho na Bwana Kagi, na leo tumetembelea kwenye mitaa hii ili angalau tukaweze kukusanya maoni ya Wakenya kuhusu wabunge wametekeleza wajibu wao kama walivyochaguliwa na wananchi. Na leo utaungana na mimi Job Sereti nikaweze kukufahamisha, tukatangamana na wananchi angalau kuona maoni yao kama Wakenya. Yule mbunge ambaye ulimchagua kufikia sasa, unaona kwamba ametekeleza na kufanya maendeleo kama mbunge? Kwa mfano mambo na maji, stima, shule, barabara, maendeleo kama hayo, ametekeleza wajibu wake?
No, hii term Arama mwenyewe hajafanya kazi. Unlike miaka ile ingine ya mbele, Arama alifanya kazi mzuri sana. Lakini mwaka hatujaona. Basari hakuna yenye imeingia, watoto wamefukuzwa. Shule hata ni shida. Kwa hivyo so far labda improve. Hii term yake hii kwa sababu mwaka moja imeisha. Hajafanya kazi kulingana matarajio yetu kama wananchi. Barabara ndio hiyo. Lami yetu kama Kapkures imesimama na Kurwest. Mahali inaitwa Citizen. Sijui lami inafanya nini, miaka nenda miaka rudi. Hapa tunasema tuko city. Lakini city yenye haina infrastructure. Hakuna barabara. Ukiangalia kila mahali ni maji, mitaro na unaona magari ni mengi. So barabara hakuna. Lami ndio iko mtoni hapo. So I improve hapo kabisa.
Nina feel ya kwamba security kwanza, naongelea security hapa kwetu si mzuri kwa sababu vijana wamekosa kazi, na huku kwetu unapata watu wananyang'anywa hata simu hapa tu karibu na Ndarugu. Unapata customers wetu ambao ni wateja wetu wa M-Pesa wanakuja wanasema wamenyang'anywa simu, kila wakati ni kureplace, na tunaona askari wanatembea hapa na pale, lakini tujaona hiyo security kama imeimarishwa. Haijakuwa sawa kwa sababu kama iko watu wenye watakuja kila siku wana replace sim cards kama 3, 4, 5, inamaanisha security yetu haijakuwa sawa, na hiyo ni saa 12 jioni, si usiku ati masaa mbaya. Hata hapa town bado hiyo security iko chini sana. Tukikuja mambo ya basari, iko wakati ambao tulipewa basari ambao iko mbali. Hivi last year tu tumepewa basari, tumeandikiwa, tumepewa barua, tumechukua shule za mbali kama mahali pale Kitui, msichana wangu alikuwa Siakago Girls. Lakini unapata ya kwamba tumechukua hiyo barua na fees haikufika. Na kitu kama hiyo si mzuri kwa sababu heri uambiwa hakuna pesa kuliko upewe barua uende shule na urudi bila hiyo fees. So inahangaisha mtoto. Wewe unakaa ukijua at least 15,000 umepata na inapatikana ya kwamba hiyo 15,000 haijafika shule. Mtoto anarudishwa, anatumia 3,000 kwenda, 3,000 kurudi. Ama hiyo pesa ambao labda ingekuwa hata school fees 6,000 ndio hiyo umechoma kwa barabara. Na hiyo sijeizi kama imekuwa mzuri.
Kwa majina naitwa Koe James. Yenyewe huyu mbunge wetu ametufanyia kazi, lakini kuna sehemu zingine kama barabara hajaunda huko juu Gikono. So upande wa basari amejaribu. Si nimekuambia ni kama 80%. Akifikisha hata 90 ama 95%. Sababu kuna watoto wamekosa basari wachache, sio wengi. Na upande wa mashule ajaribu kidogo acheke madarasa. Kuna mashule yenye watoto wanafinyana kwa madarasa. Maji tena iko, kuna mahali kuna watu wako na shida ya maji. Kama upande wa hapa Ilisuko Ingobor hawana maji. Kuna pao limelala mahali juu ya sijui ni mota imeangukia chini. Sasa watu wamejaribu, walikuwa wanataka kitu kama 700,000 lakini hawajapata. So wakienda huko wasaidia watu, sababu hao watu wako na shida, sipokuwa imenyesha amepata maji ya mvua, waenda angalia watu hata atolea kitu kama half ya hiyo pesa, halafu hao watu wachange hizo zingine.
Kwanza kabisa ningependa kusema si watu wote walimchagua, lakini kwa vile amechaguliwa amekuwa mbunge wetu, so kuna mambo ambayo hajayatekeleza kwa muda. Kama hii daraja yetu ameshinda akisema ataunda kwa muda, lakini hajawahi unda. Unaona sasa kama hiyo daraja sasa kuna contractor fulani amepewa kuunda sijui bridge ya footbridge ya mguu, lakini hiyo kitu si sustainable for human transport, inaweza collapse na inaweza anguka, ni dangerous sana. Hata mkipitia pale muangalie, watu wengi wamekuwa wakicomplain hapa. Hakikisha ametundia daraja maana na atuweke hata lami at least yenye watu wanaweza tumia kupitia hapa.
So far kwa tangia tuchague uongozi wa this term ambao kuanzia president mpaka wenye wako chini yake wote, so far sijaona kitu maendeleo yote ambayo imefanyika. Unajua kiongozi utamuona kulingana na maendeleo ambayo anafanya. Hapo ndio utajua kwamba huyu ni kiongozi. Na mahali pengine ni wakati vile anakuwa karibu na watu. Yeah, this time round hatujaona Arama akiwa na karibu na watu. Most of the time tunamuona hata kumsikia tumsikii vile. Lakini kutoka hapo nyuma alikuwa karibu, alikuwa akiongea na watu, na Saidi alikuwa akisaidia watu. Na hata alikuwa akitembelea watu na wana communicate na watu, ni kama mandugu.
Maoni maoni yako unamwambiaje mbunge wako sasa akufanyie nini?
Okay, maoni yangu mimi kwa mbunge wangu, mimi huwa nanyoa kwa hii kinyosi yenye iko hapa. Na sisi wengine tumesoma na sisi ni graduate, lakini unapata kitu yenye unafanya, kazi yenye ambao unafanya ni kunyoa kwa sababu sitataka kwenda kufanya uwizi. Afadhali ninyoe kwa sababu ninajua nitapata yangu ya siku ya. So ninaomba ya kwamba wale ambao wamesoma wote wakuwe wanasaidiwa, waone vile watapata ajira yao. Na ninaomba mbunge wetu asaidie pia vijana. Kuna vijana ambao wanarandaranda, ni graduates, wana kazi, watu wamekuwa depressed, wengine wameenda kujiangusha kwa maji, kujiua. So serikali iangalie hali ya hao vijana ambao ni graduates. At least mtu akisoma apewe kitu ambayo anastahili. Kama ni huku mashinani, license yetu sikuwe chini, sisifanane na saa town. Kwa sababu hapa nikilipa 7,500, town analipa 7,500. Inamaanisha ya kwamba tumefinyiliwa na huku kazi si kama town. So naomba mbunge wetu kama stories za license ikuje kwa county government, wapunguze license ya huku mashinani ikuwe chini, isifanane na ya town.
Na hayo ndio maoni ya Wakenya kuhusu wabunge ama maendeleo ambayo yametekeleza wabunge katika maeneo yao. Na hapo ndio nafika mwisho kutoka hapa mitaani. Utaweza kuniita Job Sereti, na watakia utazamaji mwema.
Thank you so much. Actually, our reporter who has actually carried out that particular interview, or Vox Pop as we call it, is Job Sereti and not Vincent Kimtai. I'm actually being reminded that Vincent Kimtai is watching us all the way from Nandi. He's on leave. Enjoy your leave. And thank you so much for the good work, Job Sereti, interacting with the members of the public and getting to know what is their feeling in as much or in relation to how their members of parliament have actually performed. Kagi and our guest, Bwana Macharia, you've heard what Wananchi have actually talked about.
Correct, and yes, it seems like many members of public, yes, they are not really seeing what the members of parliament are doing. Mm-hmm. You can easily tell from yes, the few who have spoken, mm-hmm, but there are very few who can be able to show how their members of parliament has done. Yes. And truly speaking, we have not seen many activities in our constituencies as it has been used in previous years. Yeah. I think the few that we can be seen in the issues of bursary, but not too much. Mm-hmm. But in terms of infrastructure, yes, we're experiencing a low level kind of vibrant infrastructural activities. Mm-hmm. So members of parliament have a huge task. We are yes, now 14 months since the government came in place, sure, and members of parliament, 14 months. And therefore, we are doing a minus mathematics instead of plus. Sure. If you don't make your calculations very well at this juncture, then you are doomed to fail by the end of 5 years. But one question I'm asking myself, is it that the members of parliament are not receiving the 100 million plus CDF fund? Or what is not happening? Where is this money going to? Or lack of priorities? But every financial year, they are receiving 100 plus million shillings. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, Kagi, as you put it. Actually, I think that is a very important question that, Bwana Macharia, you can start with. But just looking at this particular ratings that was given, because we have the Member of Parliament for Kiharu Ndindi Nyoro, he scored the best according to this particular poll by Infotrack at 70%. Then we also have Kangema, his counterpart from Kangema, his name is Peter Irongo at 68%, and tying with other MPs at 66% is Paul Mwirigi, Igembe South. We have Gideon Mulungi, Mwingi Central, Christopher Wangaya Huisero, Robert Mbui Kathiani, Peter Kaluma, Homa Bay Town. Then, of course, we have other MPs like Babu Awino at 60%, Westlands MP Timothy Wanyonyi at 58%, and of course the list goes like that. But Bwana Macharia, as you respond to Kagi's question, in relation to some of these areas that we've actually mentioned there, because these are the areas that most of the Wananchi pointed out. Infrastructure, we're talking about bursary, we're talking about roads, we're talking about electricity. Hospitals. what would really make there to be this maybe big disparity between those MPs that have performed and those that have not performed? Yet maybe they are being allocated the same or the equal amount of money.
Thank you very much. I think most of the MPs, like you see, people like Akirandini Nyoro, those are the other one from also Igembe. What has actually happened, they have actually invested on the projects that are meant to be done by CDF. You see, like also Wanjiku has to understand what are some of the functions of security is one of the functions for the MP, and schools, education. But mostly they are funded.
You said security is a function of the MP?
Yeah, it's a function of the MP.
It's not a national...
no, in terms of infrastructure.
Oh, infrastructure.
Like all those police stations, yes, they are built by the CDF and so on and so forth.
Very good.
When you talk about roads, you will come and realize the MP does not have funds majorly allocated to roads, but only can work. For example, for those rural constituency, they operate with Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and also we have Kenya Roads Board. Those two, they are the ones who do the roads machinani. But for the town setup like this one, those with urban centers and all those constituencies, we have the Kenya Urban Roads Authority. That is Kura, that also has to go there. And so for the major highways is the KENHA, which means that most of these MPs, when you construct even a road.
So there is something like an MP taking credit for a road that has actually
been
constructed.
In fact, what they have to do, that is why even the first time they have made the deputy president, and they made him to work with all the national government agencies, like Kura and Kera. They should be under MPs so that they can go there and request the roads that were requested. You see, the major roads you hear the president announcing, they are supposed to be done by those ones, but they are all within the constituencies. But roads, majorly the feeder roads are done by the county governments. They cannot run away. So even that's why I was saying the governor must come together with the MPs, because MP akipeta ataweza kumwambia, let me concentrate with bursary and building police station for security reason, but you governor, can you build the feeder roads? So for many of even hospitals, MPs are not involved in building hospitals. That is a function of the county government. So even when we tell our MPs pitari yetu imeharibika, no, even issues of licenses, those are county government functions, which means that our MPs, once they concentrate on issues of roads, building classrooms and even walls around their constituencies, making sure that they build the security in terms of they build more police stations, and they lobby for deployment of officers in those areas. Sometimes it works for them. And even for the MPs, there are those who normally lobby from Nairobi. They are always there asking for roads to be done.
So when it comes to roads, and like you've pointed out, it depends now on the competitiveness of the MP in terms of how he'll lobby Kera and Kura.
Yes, because these roads are all budgeted for, but sometimes you find they remain on paper, even in Nairobi. So it is upon the MPs and all that. I've seen several clips of our MPs in Nakuru going to the Kera headquarters here and Kura and telling them, you know, we need to see you on the ground. Because hii mabarabara kama ni watu wa Bahati wananigonga, kama ni watu wa Nakuru West they are talking about. But also we cannot compare, we must say here, we cannot compare those areas that are receiving World Bank funding to build road infrastructure with those that are not. You see, like in Nakuru West, let me say this, there were slums before. So many World Bank funds have been invested there. Even Nakuru East now, we are having several roads being done by World Bank. Those are millions of shillings and even billions. But now when we go to a constituency like Rongai does not have any World Bank funding. You may realize their roads will not be at par with us. That's why sometimes Wajiko cannot understand that. They keep complaining. But even World Bank, like the major roads within the city, Nakuru West, you see, there was somebody in that clip talking about their roads, they are now in the city. We expect that even the county government should prioritize through the city board that some of the roads within those Barut areas, Ingobor areas and all that, so that they can build. So what we are saying about MPs, majority of them have lost priority. You come and realize issues of bursary. They issue bursaries, but there are no funds. You see, like that lady is saying, they were issued with baruas to go and tell the school to wait for funds, but they never came. Because these issues of bursary are becoming like it's a very serious issue, that there is no funding. But when you talk about 100 million, you talk about 100 million for one constituency. So if the MP has to distribute all that money, even in operation and all that, that money goes to very small. But we want...
So what is it like, for example, if you're to pick an example of Dindi Nyoro, because I'm told at Kiharu, this bursary matter has worked very well. And that is why most parents and the entire electorate of his constituency is very proud.
What actually is doing, they are doing the way bursaries are supposed to be done. You know, bursaries are not for everybody. You see, like right now, if we announce today we are having bursary, you see even people like us able, we are lining there to have money. So we take over money that is meant to assist the less fortunate. You come and realize some of these people, they don't invest in infrastructure the way it's supposed to be done. So that you find that even in Kiharu in itself, even classes, we have been singing, and we follow his page, the Nyoro's page. You see today is at Kiasharage Sujui Primary School, the school is being tiled, the school is being renovated. Those are the priorities. But here sometimes in our constituencies, you can never know whether the MP is there or is not there. Because they are doing a small thing here, another small thing there, another small thing there. So there is nothing like visibility. Because Wanjiku has to understand that, for example, this 70 million for infrastructure, let me just plan for school A, B, C, D. We do good work and we finish.
So is it also a situation whereby maybe now, like in Kiharu, there is a lot of public participation, there is a lot of getting feedback from wananchi or from the voter in that particular constituency on maybe what majority of them would want their member of parliament to do for them?
Again, also, let us be realistic. In some constituencies, the poverty levels are very low. You see, like in Kiharu, there are not many poor people there. So
it's quite advantaged.
It's somehow advantaged because you see, people have got coffee farms. They are doing all their money, wanabolima majani, so on and so forth. So that you come and realize, in such a constituency like here, where we have slums, you will find many people lining up, and they push you as an MP towards bursary. And you see, you can never equate bursary with development. Because I give him a check, he take it to Bahati Boys. I give you a check, you take it to Nairobi or wherever. But now when we talk about infrastructure, those can be put at the point where they are being developed. And that's why you see people can, you will find the list of beneficiaries there is for the junior people. And there are less people. You go through a very rigorous process to be given a bursary. But nowadays here, all of us will congregate in one field, and then it is yes, no, yes, no. I also go there and pick a yes. So you come and realize I take money that is meant to assist many other things. So the effect of that bursary will not really come out. But in some areas where MPs have said this is the priority and my priority is this, I know we have 20 projects, but let us do 5.
And Mashari, I think, Mangicho, we need to replan on how we are managing some of these projects.
Yes.
Today, one of the major things that the public feels it is prompting the MP to be called number one is the bursary distribution. That is number one. If you go to the county, they're handling bursaries, MCA bursaries, and MP bursaries, and even some national government. My suggestion, which I think Mashari can say it can work, to be able to leave room for infrastructural development. Instead of using all this money, governor bursary, MP bursary, MCA bursary, why don't the government take over the issue of the bursary and declare education free for all, and all this money be brought together and go for maybe education sector for free, and then we leave the rest of the money to the development, because every member of, they are spending, I think, over 70%
on bursaries.
So we are leaving 30% for development. So the best way to be able to activate development within our localities is to government take over education for free and leave the development to MPs, MCAs, and governor.
I think that's the best practice, but also, Kagi, the reality is there are those who don't want free education. They have money. Somebody will tell you, I don't need free education, I need quality education. Even that's why we have different hospitals and we have different levels and categories of schools. you see, like our people, what we expected is that the government could do education to be free. But nowadays it's not free. You are told it is free this way, but the requirements to that freeness, they are just equal to payment of the school fees. That is why we are having even this kind of challenge, that you come and realize even when we talk about issues of bursary, it will never be enough. And again, let us be honest on here. Our people have become dependent on bursary, that even they don't work. You come to my home, I have a very huge TV, very big fridge, I live a very good life, but I am the one lining up for the bursary, which means our people are becoming sick of these bursaries. Every other day, you come and find somebody even that they have money. You see, like we are going for Christmas, I'm sorry to say this. People will plan even 100,000 for that partying and all that, but to plan for school fees even 10,000, they will not do it. They will be taking their people to Mombasa, but on January they will be knocking at the MCAs, at the MPs asking for bursary. Our people must come to a level whereby we also put very strict measures on the terms of bursaries, because you find my child Deira Wangari, he is receiving a bursary from MCA 3,000. Come to MCA, MP Gikaria and receive another 10,000. Go to now also to the governor and receive another 20,000. My child only taking about 25,000, which means if that money could have gone into somebody else, this is what we got at. But our people don't like the systems. They don't want to be checked. They don't want to be told the truth. If at all a leader is elected and gives you good roads, electricity, and make sure that hospital is well, that's where you yourself, you don't need bursary. You're supposed to focus. But now all of us are going for bursary. That's why you see even they are over planning for the bursaries. It's becoming very tedious process, and you cannot tell people you're not going to give them bursary.
So I'm just trying to ask myself, so how is it like the process of actually identifying the people who are the most needful to actually benefit from this bursary program? Know that it has actually become very much, it has been made to look like it's a very complex issue, and even those who are not supposed to be beneficiaries are
yes. We used to go for the vetting. You see, like for example, the Nyumba Kumi, they vet all the orphans, all the needy students. They submit the names through the MCA, so that by the time that child is receiving bursary, it has gone through the processes of identifying this is a needy case. But now you see we have killed all those processes, whereby it's a question of just forms being issued. Kila mtu achukue form.
Anyone can apply.
Anybody can apply as long as you vote in that area, and so on and so forth. Who doesn't want free money? Who doesn't want free things? That's why all of us go there. 4,000, some people can afford. But there are those who cannot even afford 1,000. But they are thrown aside because those who know the MCAs, those who know the MPs, those who can reach the governor, they are the people. That's why you see even in some areas there is abuse of bursaries from the governor side to the MCs. You find girlfriends being given, you find people for family. These are things, this issue, we cannot delve here, the whole of it. But the bottom line is, Wanjiko, Atieno, and Kerubo need to identify what are the parameters. How am I going to assist my MPs to make sure that they work, they deliver to the people? When you talk about oversight, have you seen our MPs saying, President, ulienda nje sana na hiyo pesa ni mingi? Si uliona wananchi walipiga kelele, rais akasema, najua watu wanalalamika that have been going out. It is now Wanjiko. We are now taking over, by the way. We are taking over everywhere. We talk about issues of electricity. Tunasema hakuna stima.
Yes.
We are complaining now unakuja kutuambia nitatenga, nitaweka, watu wasema no. Watu wanakasirika. It's better to tell me I have 50 bob than to tell me you are going to have 50,000 and that money will never reach Wanjiko. So the performance of our MPs will be actually judged by what they are able to deliver in terms of infrastructure, and especially the function for our member of parliament. That is where we are. And MP wengi wanaenda, ndio unaona even MPs from Nyanza, they go to State House, they go to government offices, they have to be there with CS, because you cannot say me I come from Nyanza, I am coming from opposition, I will not go to CS Murkomen office to ask why is the Kanyakwar Odipo road has not been started. So issues also the performance of MPs inategemea pia na your lobbying skills, your network within, and above all, there are those who are even able to lobby private partnership so that they can also bring development. Tunaona kama MP, let me use as an example, the MP for Bahati, you can see doing extra things apart from what the MP is just doing.
Yes.
Those are extra.
And that is outside the money allocated for member of parliament.
Yes. She's able to meet and tell Macharia, you know, I can see you can do this. Can you just do for me 2 taps? Can you just do me for me a cattle dip? Can you just assist me to put 2 tanks?
Funded maybe by outside the networks.
That is exactly why you see some people will perform. But those who just wait upon one stream from the government, they will not perform anything.
And that is where I think counties, even without looking for the member of parliament, where the counties had at the beginning promised that governors were supposed to source for an external income to be able to support development in the countries. But you see, today, as you're saying, governors are sitting pretty, waiting for the 15% or 35% share from the government, right? I think that is where we have failed. If all the governors, because they are very influential, they can get some partners away from the country, I think they will supplement what we are receiving from the government.
In fact, let me say this.
Maybe you can just, as we wind up, we have like a minute when Macharia
What we can say is that these governors, what we expect them to do, we expect them to be people with the network. Even the way they go outside the country all the time. But when they come back, they don't tell us what. Have you seen any governor telling us, I went to America, I came with this? No. They just go there, attend seminars, they don't know what, and they come back silently. We expect that there are people with high standard, they will have friends abroad, they will come and present the cases for their people at the mashinani, so that those investors from outside can come and assist people. That is what happens with the development partners like ActionAid, Kenya Red Cross, and so many other things. They come, identify a project, they source for
even
funds.
World Bank.
Yeah, even World Bank, and then they went ahead. So what we need that so that we can be able to work together.
So as you wind up, so this report is quite credible and should be a wake-up call to those MPs that have not been rated?
Yes, it should. They should just understand that some of them are just disappeared. They just disappeared.
They're waiting to come back on 2026.
They're waiting on 2026. That's when you will see them start selling. Unajua ile pesa ilikosa, so on and so forth. What we need people who are proactive. We need also citizens to raise questions about these MPs. Unajua watu wanaogopa wabunge sana. Mpaka the MPs are just like demigods. We will operate around here. They will. Wanatuambia tu angalia governor. Look at the governor. But them, they are getting 100 million. In their 5 years, they will have $500 million. What will they have?
What will they have
with that, all that money?
Wow, absolutely incredible. Bwana Ben Macharia is a governance expert. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you for shedding light on this particular report and actually even helping our viewer to be able maybe to do much more in terms of scrutinizing their members of parliament and other elected leaders.
And also we are thankful for always giving us an opportunity, because we are not elected members of parliament. We can always interrogate this leadership style. We can always raise questions where they need to be, so that at the end of it all, our people can benefit with the leadership they deserve.
Absolutely. And of course, that is where we bring it to a close for today. It's been very interesting, very interactive. Thank you so much also for your contribution on this particular matter. And just a challenge to you, continue doing all that you can actually do to make your leader accountable. My name is Mangicho Mola. We'll see you next week at a time like this. Have a blessed afternoon.
Yes, and I thank you so much for finding time to be able to follow this program today. Until next week, my name is Paul Kagi. Bye for now.